Hey y'all. It is 2021. How we got here, a lot of us are trying to figure it out. But I'm so excited for y'all to be here. For those of y'all who don't know me, it's your girl Byrd, and I'd like to welcome you all to Byrd Talk. And this is a space where we get to be creative, we get to connect, and we get to build hopefully on a weekly basis. We gonna see how this goes, but it's my dream to make this a weekly endeavor. So for those of y'all who don't know about what I do, Bird's World is a space that I have been designing to help inspire and empower lives by amplifying creativity, cultivating community, and encouraging curiosity. And that can be done in a lot of different ways. So if you are an artist and looking for some sort of like writer's breakthrough or trying to figure out how to tell your story, that is something that I can help folks work with. If you are an educator who is looking for more ways to engage your students, especially in this virtual world, and have conversations around difficult topics or what it's like to be a writer. That's also something that I am working on. So there are a couple of different buckets that I fall in, but overall, I am very much a creative catalyst, and so I am put in spaces to help build creativity in order for us to live in a world that's a little bit more exciting. Creativity brings a lot of expression and just excitement in the world and joy, and I think we need a lot more joy in moments like this as we all are coming into 2021. So I'm excited for you all to be here. I definitely wanted to hop on here and share a little bit about my journey and how I was able to really discover the magic in my wings and begin to fly. I usually put myself in a lot of situations where I'm constantly pulling other information out of people, and I can sometimes be an unintentional closed book. I'm the type of person is if you don't ask, you don't really know. And in 2021, I am making an effort to make sure that I am more visible and telling more of my story and what I do. And this is one of the ways that I really want to do that. So before I kind of dive deep into my story, I really want to ask you all, as we've been in, we're 8 months into a version of quarantine and a version of the world that we aren't necessarily used to. And so I really want to ask you, in this time, we've had more time to really sit with ourselves. So have you experienced your creative intuition kind of nagging at you, right? Have you ever felt this like pulling in your body that is leading you somewhere, but you're not exactly sure where it's going and why it's nagging at you, or like some sort of calling that you haven't quite narrowed down? So I really want you to think about this, because I've definitely been in that situation. And even though right now I'm in a space where I am absolutely, like, absolutely blown away by how I am a two-time award-winning writer and producer of two shows, y'all, which I was able to bring to the virtual stage the summer of 2020 during a pandemic. Like, that just blows my mind. Oh my goodness. Hi, Roslyn. Hi, Mindy. It's so good to see you all here. If you have any questions for me, feel free to chime in. I will be more than willing to answer any questions that folks have. So I'm going to make sure I keep my chat up. You saw me kind of doing this little dance because I was looking at my phone, but I have the chat up now. So yeah, feel free, make this as interactive as you would like for it to be, because it's not about me. It's about you all and us being able to have breakthroughs together. And I want us to be able to learn from each other as we kind of move through this space. But as I was mentioning, like, the summer of 2020 was wild for me in a good way, because I was able to pivot in a way that I wouldn't have normally thought that I was capable of actually doing. So the two shows that I was able to pull together uh, are Inheritance: The Stories We Carry and Her Story of History, and both of those shows were in two different festivals and won awards, right? And so I'm in this space of acknowledging that and really sitting in that and owning that space, right? Also, during the pandemic, there was a moment where I was like, how do we bring people together? How do we build community? So I was able to cultivate a space where over 50 writers internationally were able to participate in a 15-day writing workshop during National Poetry Month. And to be honest, I was expecting 7 to 10 and got over 50. So that was definitely a surprise and a testament to the magic that I'm able to provide. And I've also published a chapbook. And within a year was able to publish up to I was able to publish 7 different poems in a year, and have moved writers into action and audiences into tears for over 15 years. But what you don't know about me is, for a while I lost my creative drive and my confidence for about 4 years. And I knew that deep down inside I was missing something, but I really didn't know how to articulate it or how to move forward with that. So, taking you all back to a fall evening of November 2018, I found myself in traffic again. For those of y'all who know, I'm from Chicago, and the traffic pre-pandemic was real. Um, and one of the things that I did to kind of help pass the time, I would listen to podcasts. So while I was scrolling through my podcast options, I stumbled across one that shook me to my core, and I wasn't ready for. And it was India Ari's Songversation, episode 7, River Rise. And when I found the podcast, my eyes lit up because I was excited to learn more about one of my favorite songs, because every time I heard it, I would transcend. So this time I took a deep breath, inhaled, and I screwed my face up a little bit the way that I usually do when I hit notes that are a little bit higher than my octave. And I let the words float across my lips as she played the song. And as usual, there was a surrendering. There was this feeling of loss and a longing for something different. So while driving 5 miles per hour in the express lane, going southbound on the Dan Ryan, India walked me through her song. And she talked about how she was on the verge of a breakdown. And I remember this feeling of being broken and thinking, this sounds familiar. And she talked about how she had chased her dream, caught it, but was still looming in this shadow of sadness, some sort of unfulfillment, right? A loss of control. Somehow she had lost her way and was depleted. And during the podcast, at exactly 43 minutes and 29 seconds, y'all, India Ari said something I will never forget. She said, my intuition started to become weakened because I kept overriding it. And I remember hearing that, and my hand started to extend out of my chest towards the stereo as if I wanted to hold her hand. And then she said, so it kind of stopped talking to me. And it got quieter and quieter. And literally at that moment, everything stopped. It was as if the world no longer spun. And I gasped, forgetting to breathe. And my eyes widened. And then they began to swell. For the first time, I had words for my emptiness. And I remember gripping the steering wheel until I lost circulation in my fingertips. I was completely overwhelmed. I finally had words to articulate what I had been feeling. It was like I had been seen for the first time in 4 years, y'all. Because at the time of my career, I was in a place where my brilliance was constantly being questioned. So much so that I started to question myself along with everything else. I remember one day looking into the mirror and not recognizing who was staring back at me. I had lost my creative joy. I was no longer aligned with my truth. Somewhere on this journey, I decided it was okay to build someone else's dream and set my main dream aside. Now, here I was moving through the world with this gigantic knot in my gut, and I was letting it gnaw on my insides. Yeah, what happened to the dreamer? I used to be an action taker, the one who made diamonds out of coal. Where did she go? And when did she decide to settle? And why was her inner voice so quiet? There was always a power I could feel. It was guidance to tell me the way to go. Mhm. But nowadays, I feel like I can't hear that voice. I've been flying blind. I need you to come and be my eyes. River rise, carry me back home. I cannot remember the way. River rise, carry me back home. I cannot remember the way. I bow down. That phrase right there. I bow down. So that's surrendering again, right? I bow down. I needed to get myself back on my original flight pattern. I needed to reassess my inner compass, my magic, my why. On that fall day, I made a promise to myself, and I didn't know how I was going to get back on track and pursue my artistry and my dream of running my own business, but I was going to find a way. I always had. I made a promise to myself to believe in me again. So I remember coming home and I ran up the stairs and I burst through the door and grabbed a brown dry eraser marker and wrote the words, "I am aligned with my truth," on my whiteboard in my office. Then I wrote, "I am aligned with my truth," on my bathroom mirror. Then I ran to my bedroom and wrote, "I am aligned with my truth," there too. That way, whenever I woke up, got dressed, brushed my teeth, worked from my office desk, I was reminded of this promise. I was determined not to forget. That day, I made the commitment to never be lost again, y'all. I needed to surrender, bow down. So I did. And again, I didn't know how, but I knew the universe would show me if I just listened. I needed to strengthen my intuition again. I needed to hear her voice, remember what it sounded like. I knew the river would guide me, and I knew my wings would carry me back home. So now, 2 years later, I get to be a full creative being. I get to be more confident than what I was 2 years ago. I get to be laser focused on my artistic dreams coming true. I know my purpose is to be in rooms where I can amplify creativity, cultivate community, and encourage curiosity. I am meant to work with writers and artists and educators. That's the space I'm meant to be in, with students, with folks who believe in the power of being able to create spaces in order for us to be better humans. Today, I am aligned with my why, and I am working towards becoming the best CEO of my dreams. And I want you all right now to kind of think about, has there ever been a time where you lost your creative joy? Y'all heard about mine. Have you ever been out of alignment? Have you ever woken up with a knot in your belly? What was it saying to you? I want you to think about what makes you fly. Because there's nothing like that feeling of having weightlessness and cruising through the air. I want you to think about how you make a difference in the world. And when you dig into your heart, what is your big why? And then here's the hard question. Are you currently living it? So I would love for folks to do, who are still with me and who will see this later, I want you to take about 20 minutes to journal and think about whether or not you are aligned with your truth. And I really, really, really want you to embrace discovery. And when you find that thing, you'll know what that thing is. Trust me. Because when you find it, there's an aha moment. There might be tears. There might be a dance. There's a uncontrollable feeling that your body will want to move. It will respond. Trust me. When you find it, I want you to make a promise to yourself and write it down in places where you frequent, like I did. My office whiteboard, bedroom mirror, my bathroom mirror. Those are places I see every single day because I was determined not to forget it. And I want you to make a promise to yourself to do something every day, no matter how small it is, in order for you to realign yourself with your creative joy. I am here today to let you all know that I am not the same person I was November of 2018. And I can promise you, if you do this exercise and make the commitment to do something small every single day to work towards that goal, I promise you, you will not be the same person January 2023. So with that, what I would love to do, if there's anyone out there who would like to be transformed, even if it's a small transformation, 2 years from now, and you know that you hold this boulder in your gut, and you know that if you hold onto this boulder any longer, it's going to take over. I'm going to ask for you all to be in action. So I would love to invite you all to a 5-day challenge that I am hosting January 11th through 15th. I want to make sure I give you all the right dates. So it'll be January 11th through the 15th. And with this challenge, I will help you all uncover your why and really get back to your creative flight pattern. So if you're interested, I am going to, you see the link at the bottom, and I will also post the link in the chat so you all have that information. And invite you all to join the We Are Hummingbirds group. because this is where the challenge will take place. So join us in that space. If you would like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me directly so that I can answer any questions that you might have. But it's no obligation except for you all being able to be committed for those 5 days. It won't be asking of a lot because I understand that it's a work week. But be committed to the daily assignments and be committed to showing up and being interactive within the space, because I think it would be really great for folks to be able to discover who you want to be, especially when it comes to creativity. So with that, I thank you all for being a part of the space. Look at that. My messages are already popping up right now, which is really exciting. So I cannot wait to see you all in that space. Thank you all for being here and sharing this time with me. I am making the commitment to show up more. And I hope that you all will be able to do the same with me. So it's your girl Byrd, and I am here to let you know that I see you. Sometimes we move through this space, especially being in this virtual world, where people see us, but they don't really see us right now because we're behind these screens, or because we move through spaces where our identity isn't necessarily acknowledged. So I want to let you know that I see you. You are a hummingbird. I want to remind you to keep exploring, keep creating, and as always, keep flying, y'all. Till next time, stay safe and stay well. Bye.